Welcome to WEFM'S 3pm News. I am your presenter, Jessica Klein. First on the local scene. Rashan Brown, the Chief Magistrate of St. Vincent, has been appointed as the High Court Judge, AG, of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. The announcement was made public by her brother, Luke Brown, via a social media post on Tuesday night. Luke expressed his family's joy and pride, remarking that Rishan's appointment was well-deserved recognition for her significant contributions to the legal profession and justice administration in the Eastern Caribbean and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. While addressing Rishan, Luke highlighted her personal qualities, saying that she had always been an excellent big sister, providing a refuge and a happy place for her siblings. The remaining officers from Course Number 8 of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, RSVGPF, are celebrating their 33rd year of service. These officers were enlisted on December 19th, 1990, with a batch of 46. They serve in various departments, stations, and units, with Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Trevor Bailey, leading the crime portfolio. The officers celebrating are Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police, Mr. Trevor Bailey, Assistant Superintendents of Police, Mr. Oswin Richards, and Mr. Parnell Brown. Inspectors of Police, Mr. Atlan Brown, Mr. Grafton Samuel, and Mr. Dwayne Mackenzie. Station Sergeant Cuthbert Wilson, and Sergeants Scott John and Rawl Pope. Despite the journey not being easy, the officers expressed gratitude to the Almighty God for sparing their lives to see their 33rd anniversary. ACP Bailey expressed his pleasure of serving the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, stating that he has grown and matured over the years, seeing things through many eyes. As the officers continue to serve with distinction, they remain in touch every day through their group chat, living together as a family. Still on the local scene, the Methodist Church Hall concluded a 12-month project aimed at enhancing household food and nutrition security through home gardening. Approximately 68 participants benefited from a series of consultations and training sessions over the period. Association of Evangelical Churches President, Dr. Renald Murray, commended the association's commitment to coordinate Christian relief responses to natural disasters. Deputy Chief Agricultural Officer Colville King referenced the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as the underpinning motivation for the Ministry of Agriculture's partnership in projects of this nature. He proposed the formation of a home gardeners network for sustainability. The Rural Transformation Unit's Senior Technical Officer, Corella Thompson Fergus, provided a project review detailing the strategies put in place to identify and select qualified homeowners as project beneficiaries. She also revealed the Rural Transformation Unit's continued monitoring and evaluation plan. Chief Agricultural Officer Renato Gomes concluded the closing ceremony by acknowledging the contributions of all participants who made the project a success, including the Rural Transformation Unit, officers of the Extension and Advisory Services, and the homeowners who are the key stakeholders. At the event, beneficiaries shared how the project impacted their lives and received equipment to sustain their newly established home gardens. On the regional scene, in a strongly worded speech before the House of Assembly, Senior Minister Kerry Simmons expressed frustration with the conspiracy of silence surrounding Barbados's renewable energy plans. He criticized the lack of support for humanity's continued survival and the obstruction to progress that exists in Barbados, as well as the studious dedication to not supporting the government's efforts at renewable energy. Simmons also called out opposition politicians, the media, and those with deep ties to the island for not doing more to support the government's efforts. He emphasized the importance of journalists in raising awareness and rallying support for the country's renewable energy initiatives. Despite these challenges, Simmons applauded the government's efforts to tap into Barbados's renewable energy potential, acknowledging the growing global demand for renewable energy resources. He reminded his audience that the switch from fossil fuels is imminent and urged the country to be ready for this shift. Still on the regional scene, as part of the solution to help young men who lack positive male mentorship, power brokers in the education sector in Jamaica are being urged to develop more residential type schools for boys. This suggestion was made by Jason Downer, chairman of the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center and former boarding master at Jamaica College, during a men and boys forum hosted by the United Nations Women Multi Country Office Caribbean last Thursday. Downer shared that his small scale residential facility has been effective in providing interventions for boys with maladaptive behaviors. He also partners with two corporate area high schools to further support and nurture the boys' development. And finally, on the international scene, in a recent ruling, the Supreme Court of Colorado voted 4-3 to prohibit Donald Trump from running for president in the state. The court cited the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause, stating that Mr. Trump was ineligible to run due to his involvement in the U.S. Capitol riots nearly 3 years ago. While Trump's campaign plans to file an appeal with the U.S. Supreme Court, they have publicly denounced the decision, calling it completely flawed. It's important to note that this ruling only affects Colorado's primary election, which will take place on March 5th, 2024. However, it could also have implications for the general election in Colorado next November. This marks the first time that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment has been utilized to disqualify a presidential candidate. Despite this decision, Trump's campaign remains confident, and similar attempts to block his candidacy in other states, including New Hampshire, Minnesota, and Michigan, have failed. The ruling is currently on hold until next month. This has been WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I have been your presenter, Jessica Klein. Join us again at 5:30 p.m. for WEFM's evening news, and we thank you for listening.